loving the spin I'm in, under the old black magic called love. In a spin, loving the spin I'm in.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this much anticipated third annual Berkeley Club of Hong Kong Scholarship Ball. I am Therese Nessie Ortega, and on behalf of the Berkeley Club of Hong Kong, we are delighted to have so many distinguished guests with us for this meaningful and memorable event. Someone earlier asked me, what's my connection with UC? And while family live in California, President Dave Wong actually mentioned that I could be a potential Cal parent in the near future with a 15-year-old going on 35 right outside this door. And I'm sure some of you already know the feeling. I'm dreading the thought. Over the course of the evening, I hope you recognize some old friends, make some new ones, and deepen your knowledge of UC Berkeley and its worldwide community. We have a full program in store, starting with welcome remarks by Club President Dave Wong. Following Dave, UC Berkeley Vice Chancellor Scott Biddy will share a message from the Chancellor. Finally, Professor Rich Lyons, Dean of Haas School of Business, will deliver an inspirational keynote on Berkeley's success at developing global leaders at these especially challenging times. In the second half of the evening, we will be entertained with benefit performances by award-winning musical wonders Howard McCrary and UC Berkeley alumni Terrence Ian. Without further ado, please welcome our man about town, founder of the Berkeley Club of Hong Kong, Cal alumni and Cal parent, Mr. Dave Wong, to the stage. Dave?
Thank you, Therese, and good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all here this evening for this, our third Berkeley Ball. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce and thank our distinguished sponsors. Without them, events like this one would not have been made possible. Over here at the head table, Mr. and Mrs. Alfred Lai, for once again providing the wonderful custom-made gifts for everybody. Mr. and Mrs. Cliff C. for the wonderful wine you will be enjoying this evening. And over here at table 9, Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Ho for the fabulous table prizes. Also, many thanks to our gracious table sponsors, many of whom are returning for their second or third time. May I ask all of you to join me in welcoming our representatives from campus. Vice Chancellor Scott Biddy. Dean Rich Lyons, Haas School of Business. Dean Anna Lee Saxenian of the School of Information. Mr. Anders Yang of Boat School of Law. Ms. Jean Wang Lee of the Haas School. Jean is outside. Ms. Kim Kincannon and Ms. Amy Ambrose of the Office of International Relations. I would also like to take a quick moment to recognize our executive committee members who have worked so hard to bring us this unique event and various other club events throughout the year. Let me introduce them to you. Lisa Lum, your ball chair and events director. Lisa is at table 17. Clara Lowe, vice president. She's also in the Florida area. Jennifer Haig, communications director. Winston Tai, membership director. Travis Darrow, external relations director. And last but not least, my fellow director, Mr. Daniel Yu. We hope through our efforts, you will leave this evening with a deeper affection for UC Berkeley, which we feel has always been home for the brightest, most visionary, and compassionate minds in the world. Now, if for whatever reason you have trouble understanding what I've just said, simply take a look at the person sitting right next to you. Now, if you still have doubts about what I said, please focus your attention on me. It is this gathering of minds, together with our core mission to serve the greater good, that makes Berkeley what it is, a place that serves all of us in ways we can't begin to imagine. Before we raise our glasses, please join me in watching a short video from several future world leaders who express perfectly the enthusiasm that brings us together as a community.
We work hard and we study hard, but on the weekends we have something to look forward to rally around our team.
We're the Sons of California.
I've had a Cal sweatshirt probably every year of my life.
Fighting for the gold and blue.
It's so ridiculously exciting.
Go Bears!
On that note, may I ask my fellow directors and executive committee members to join me on stage in a toast. To Berkeley, and go Bears!
I would now like to ask UC Berkeley Vice Chancellor Scott Biddy to share with us a special message from Chancellor Burgeneau on the campus update.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you very much. It's really terrific to be with you this evening. Now, when I heard that we were going to have the ball this year, Dave, I seem to remember that we were going to do something a bit more intimate, but already I see that we've outgrown the room and you have succeeded beyond your expectations, and that's what we've come to expect from you. You do such a good job and you have such a great leadership team, and we're really grateful to you for carrying the flag so high here in Hong Kong. Now, I should mention that just this last weekend, we had a very similar kind of event with our alumni in Los Angeles. That's a place where we have almost 100,000 alums. And I'm happy to report that you have completely outdone them. So I give you great credit, because not only have you created a beautiful and elegant evening, but on a per capita basis, you must be the most magnificent club that we have in all of the Berkeley kingdom, as it were. So thank you and congratulations on another wonderful evening. And I do bring greetings from Chancellor Bergeneau. He was so pleased to be with us here last year, and I know we'll get him here again, in part because Mary Catherine, his wife, had such a lovely time that she will insist that he comes. It is really with deep appreciation to the Berkeley Club of Hong Kong and President Dave Wong and Ball Chair Lisa Lum for their leadership in tonight's celebration. Lisa and Dave and their dedicated group of volunteers and committee have worked tirelessly these past months to bring a wonderful gathering to fruition. So I do offer my sincere thanks and hearty congratulations for another successful year of activities, of which this is just the apex. We recognize the special role that our Hong Kong alumni, friends, and parents play in ensuring that Berkeley mission and values continue to be upheld, not only in California and Berkeley, but around the world. So I want to give you just a couple of brief snippets of news from campus. Now, the most important news that we have, I'm going to actually defer to Dean Lyons because it's really his news, and that is that we have our 21st Nobel Prize in economics. Now, as many of you know, if you win a Nobel Prize at Berkeley, you actually get a reserved parking spot. And so it has always been my view that the reason we're so successful is that is the best incentive you can offer someone on the Berkeley campus. Those of you who have children there will certainly understand what I mean. We actually feel like we won 3 Nobel Prizes this year because in addition to Ollie Williamson, who represents the campus so well, we also had Elizabeth Blackburn and her graduate student, Carol Greider, win the Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology for work that they did on the Berkeley campus in the early 80s. So Berkeley continues to be a place of absolute excellence. Now, not only do we like to think that we have great distinguished faculty, but we also judge our campus on the quality of our young faculty. And by really all the important measures, the young faculty are future Nobel Prize winners and future Pulitzer Prize winners. So those of you who attended Berkeley, those of you who have children at Berkeley, I think can rest assured that the quality of the campus is as good as it has ever been. Also represented by the quality of the student body. Now, I know that there are many alums here in the audience, and one of the things that I'm always quick to say is that even though admission has gotten much more competitive, I know that all of you would still get in. Having said all that, for a very small number, about 6,000 spots, we had over 50,000 applicants this year for the undergraduate class. So I know that many of you have students on the campus, and you can be extraordinarily proud of the accomplishment that they have achieved in being able to gain acceptance to the University of California, Berkeley. Now, of course, it's our responsibility to give them a truly superb education. And I think when you look at the quality of the faculty and you look at the quality of our students, our success is all but guaranteed. There is one weak link in that chain, though, that I think all of you have heard about, and that is the state of California. I don't want to overstate it, but some people feel that the state government has all but collapsed. And we've taken very big budget cuts on the campus this year, about $150 million in budget cuts. Now, that's very alarming news when you look at what we're trying to accomplish. But actually, the message I want to leave you with tonight is one of optimism. Because one of the things that we recognize is that Berkeley has been a great institution for over 141 years. And I think when you look at the quality of people who serve the campus and the faculty and the quality of students we have, we can rest assured that Berkeley will be a great institution 141 years from now. Now, part of the reason that we can be assured of that, of course, is the generosity of people like you. And in particular, when we look at our international student body, as you know, Chancellor Bergeneau began an effort about 3 years ago to increase the number of international students. So in that period of time, the number of international students in the undergraduate population has about tripled. Now, of course, with that comes financial need, and so the Hong Kong Berkeley Club scholarship really makes a huge difference in allowing those students to really attend the campus and to fully experience what Berkeley has to offer. So I really come with a message from Chancellor Bergeneau. with a message of gratitude. We thank you for doing this every year, for providing support to Berkeley students, and I'm happy to introduce a video of one of these students actually expressing thanks directly to you. So without further ado, let me give you the best example that we can give you of what your generosity is doing on the Berkeley campus. And again, thank you for having us here tonight. It's always a great pleasure.
Hi, my name is Yibo Yu. I grew up in Wuxi, China. My dad is an electrical engineer, and my mom is a high school math teacher. After my junior high school, I got a scholarship from the Singapore government, so I went to high school there. Currently, I'm a junior at UC Berkeley, and my major is electrical engineering. During my leisure time, I like to write Chinese calligraphy. I started practicing calligraphy since my primary school, and I've been doing that all the time. And my friends and I even founded the first Chinese calligraphy club at Berkeley. For art and science, over time, some part of them will become classics and everyone will learn them. But meanwhile, we want to be creative and create new things. And in addition, art can free our mind, and they can even help us to be creative and in the field of science and engineering. So I think they are related, and they even complement each other. My major is electrical engineering with an emphasis on solid-state devices. So my dream is to invent a new type of transistor to replace the current ones being used in almost all our electronic gadgets. The new device would, of course, provide better performance in terms of faster speed, less cost, and lower power. And I think reducing power usage is very important for all of us. When I was in high school in Singapore, I met Professor Yi-Chia Yo at National University of Singapore. He was actually a Berkeley alumnus himself, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do a research project with his guidance. And I really learned a lot from him, not only his research methodology, but also his attitude towards research, such as his optimism and his persistence. And my research experience even made me to choose my current major, electrical engineering. I'm very honored to receive this scholarship from the Berkeley Club of Hong Kong. I think it really helped my family a lot. Thank you very much for your generosity.
Thank you for inviting me and all of us. It is great to see so many people that are so connected to our university, UC Berkeley. So my name is Rich Lyons. I'm the Dean of the Business School. I've been in the role for just a little over a year. And I want to talk to you a little bit about leadership development and how Berkeley does that. If you will permit me, I would just like to tell a very quick story about Monday morning last week. Monday morning last week, I was in the shower. It was early in the morning. It was 6 in the morning. And I heard the telephone ring from in the shower. Now, everybody knows that that Monday is the Nobel Prize in Economics Day. Everybody knows that. I don't get phone calls at 6 in the morning very often. I knew that if my wife came bursting into the bathroom that we had the prize. And about 5 seconds later, my wife came bursting in to the bathroom. Oliver Williamson is one of the most wonderful men that you could imagine, and he is obviously one of the most wonderful minds that you could imagine. That it would happen to our Ollie Williamson, yours and mine, it was a wonderful thing. Actually, the last Nobel Prize that the business school won was in 1994. It was John Harsanyi won the Nobel Prize in Economics. He was a business school professor for his work in strategy and game theory. Now, 15 years had passed, and so I reminded the faculty. I put some pressure on the faculty that we needed another prize. I was delighted that Ollie Williamson responded and brought that prize back to Berkeley so quickly. Let me talk about leadership and give you some sense for how we're thinking about it. I know my time is limited here, but I'd like to give you some sense for it. Of course, Berkeley has been producing leaders for more than a century, more than 140 years. I'd like to talk a little bit about the business school's perspective on leadership development these days. If you ask me, what is the leadership promise of our Berkeley's business school? What is the leadership promise? Or if you prefer, what is the leadership brand? And so let me cut to the chase. The leadership promise of Berkeley's business school is, in 2 words, innovative leader. Innovative leader. And let me put some flesh around that. Why do those 2 words mean so much to us? First of all, why innovative leader? And second, how do we deliver on innovative leader? The why is easy, and I'll be quick, because it's profoundly valuable in the marketplace. There is a truth that you are all familiar with. The truth is this: firms get paid for being different. They do not get paid for being the same. If you look the same as the others you're competing with, you are not in a very pretty picture. In economics, we call that perfect competition. Perfect competition is not pleasant if you're part of it. Firms get paid for being different, and the kinds of leaders that can bring that out of their enterprises are the kinds of leaders that are driving value in modern economies. That goes without saying. Differentness is what we're after. Useful differentness is what we get paid for. Leaders that know how to produce that, pull that out of their organizations, are profoundly valuable leaders, and they're only getting more so. About that, I think we can all agree. The second part of what I want to discuss is how we deliver on that. How does Berkeley deliver on that as a university, and more specifically, your business school, Berkeley Haas? Whenever I'm talking about our business school and I talk about what sets this business school apart, and in fact, we got some very good news last week. Some of you will have read it in The Economist. Just last week, if I may boast just a moment, The Economist ranked your business school, yours and mine, #1 among all U.S. business schools. And part of what I think is moving us forward, and of course we've been working at this for many, many decades, but part of it is sharpening the articulation of what we stand for. Sharpening the articulation of the values and mission that Scott spoke of earlier. How is it that we are delivering on this innovative leader? When people ask me, what 3 things set Berkeley's business school apart? I always answer the same 3 things. It is the people, it is the place, and it is the culture. You start with people because we are a human capital organization if we are anything. And the great people that are bringing in the Nobel Prizes and the great students that we are attracting, they are our lifeblood. They are everything to us. It is also about the place, because we as a business school and we as a campus live right in the middle of a business ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurial change that is the envy of the world. And we know how many places on this planet have tried to replicate what we have, and it is impossible to replicate. Put a little differently, and through the lens of a business school, if business schools didn't exist and you had a choice to put a business school somewhere on the planet, an awful lot of people would choose to put their business school right where your business school is. And that is an enormous advantage. And the culture. So the culture I want to focus on, because as we think about what it is that produces innovative leaders and produces responsible leaders, we need to think about our culture. And we need to think about what defines it precisely. I'm going to mention 4 principles that I think are profoundly defining of your business school relative to even other top business schools in the world. Here are the 4 principles, because I think they're important for understanding how we deliver on this innovative leader. Number 1, I'll mention all 4 and then I'll say a few things about each of the 4. Principle number 1, confidence without attitude. Principle number 2, question the status quo. Principle number 3, students always. Principle number 4, serve something larger. Confidence without attitude. Question the status quo. Students always serve something larger. I'll start with confidence without attitude. These are the people in our judgment that are engendering the kind of trust and followership that drives collaboration. Many recruiters say, you know why we like to come to the business school at Berkeley, and Berkeley more generally, we hear it mostly in regard to the business school, is because your students have confidence without attitude, and we are not finding enough of that at business schools these days. We think that the future is demanding leaders who have more of that quality. The bravado imperial leader, that is moving aside. The kinds of leaders that are driving the sort of useful differentness that we talked about earlier are the sorts of leaders that are engendering the trust, the appreciation, the collaboration that we see from people who have confidence without attitude. Number 2, question the status quo. I could add the words, this is Berkeley after all, and you would all understand. The great achievements in human history have come from great questions. We need people who are constantly asking, there's got to be a better way. We need people who are going to stand up and speak out when things don't look and feel right. We need people who are going to be able to fill the white space that is around their current jobs. And we need people who are going to fill the white space that is around their current businesses. These are people that are going to question the status quo. Berkeley has always attracted them. They are the leaders that will produce the useful differentness that we all need. Students, always. Paulo Tellini is one of our graduates, the CEO of Intel. He was speaking at the Haas School about a month ago. I showed him that principle, and he said, I love that principle. He said, I can't tell you how many MBAs we hire from other business schools, and their attitude is, I've learned what I need to learn. He said, we hate that. We need people who are constantly probing, constantly curious, do not feel as though they are stamped, they're credentialed, that's behind, I don't need to be that way anymore. Students, always. And the last one, serve something larger. How many of you have been in an organization when somebody 1 or 2 levels above you did something in his or her own interest that wasn't in the best interest of the organization? Did you notice? Will you ever forget? Did anybody not notice? Are these the people that are going to get tapped for the topmost jobs going forward? If serve something larger isn't at least as large as the enterprise that you're part of, your career will be severely constrained. And for most of us, serve something larger needs to be larger than that still. So as we think about that as a cultural makeup and those 4 fundamental principles and values, confidence without attitude, question the status quo, students always, serve something larger. This is part of what builds a leader. Sometimes people ask me, can you make more ethical leaders? Isn't it true that the people that are coming to a graduate business school, for example, they're already 27 or 28? How can you possibly affect them? You need to get to them when they're 10, 11, 12, 7, whatever the number, not when they're 27. I disagree with that view. How many of you as CEOs of organizations would say, everybody who works in my organization is an adult. They're 27 or older. I cannot influence their behavior. I cannot get them to behave more ethically. That would be a derogation of responsibility. That would be a crime. In a business school, just as an organization, if somebody said to you as CEO, do you worry about ethical behavior? And you answered, no, I don't worry about it because each of my people has gone through a 30-hour ethics training course. You would never say that. What is it that is the glue that creates ethical, sound judgment? It is the norms and the values. It is the culture. It's the mission of the place. Berkeley has always had a different mission. It has always had different values. That's what we stand for. That's what we will always stand for. Even as our financial model migrates to something that is more privately funded than it used to be. What made us public, what made us different as a campus was always the mission and values. It was never really the funding model. And we are understanding that deeply. The business school understands that in the way that we develop leaders, both innovative leaders and leaders who lead responsibly. And the campus understands that deeply as we look forward into our future as a campus, as a community. That mission and those values will bind us as tightly in the future as they have in the past. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Professor Lyons. Your profound words of wisdom give us much to think about and hope for in this ever-changing world. Ladies and gentlemen, for your listening pleasure, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Terence Yin Chi Wai.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that it is an honor for me to be here at the Berkeley Scholarship Ball. And it's so wonderful to see so many alumni from our great school. And I'm happy that we're getting together to do something to give back to the Hong Kong community and to spread the word about our school and get some more Hong Kong students to come to Berkeley and share the experiences that we have all shared. I have prepared a couple of songs for you all. And the first one will be Kissing a Fool. Thank you. You are far when I could have been your star. You listen to people who scared you to death, and from my heart, strange that you were strong enough to even make a start. You'll never find peace of mind till you listen to your heart. People bowing down to sing the way you feel. Better let them do just what they will, for they will. If you let them steal your heart from you, people will always make a lover feel a fool. But you knew I loved you. We could have shown them all. We might have seen them through. Hold me with tears in your eyes, covered me with kisses and lies. So bold, but please don't take my heart. You are far when I could have been your star. I'll pick up the pieces and mend my heart. Strange that I was wrong enough to think you loved me too. You must have been kissing a fool. I say you must have been kissing a fool. But remember this, every other kiss that you'll ever give, long as we both live, when you need the hand of another man, one who really can't surrender with, I will wait for you like I always do. There's something else. can't compare to any other. You are far when I could have been your son. You listen to people who scared you down from my heart. Strange that I was strong enough to think you love me too. You must have been kissing a fool. You must have been kissing a fool. You must have been kissing a fool. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good evening. You know, I just wanted to know, can anyone feel the love in the room tonight? There's so much love in this room tonight, and I just absolutely love it. And it reminds me of a song. It's for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. B is very, very extraordinary, and E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you. And love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it, 'cause love was made for me and you. Very, very extraordinary, and he is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you. And love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it, 'cause love was made for me and you. Don't you know that love was made for me and you? Don't you know that love was made for me and you? Thank you, thank you. Scott, it was such a pleasure to meet you this evening. Is your wife here tonight? Oh. You don't know where she is? Oh. Well, we're going to help you find her. We're going to help you find that love of your life tonight. And when you do, you can tell her this. The more I see you, the more I want you. Sometimes this feeling just grows grows and grows. With every sigh, I become more mad about you, more lost without you. And so it goes. Can you imagine how much I want you? The more I see you as years go by, I know the only one for me can only be you. My arms won't free you, and my heart won't try. The more I want you, the more I see you as years go by. I know the only one for me can only be you. My arms won't free you, and my heart won't try. My heart won't try. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I just wanted to, I have a forecast for the Berkeley Club for the year 2010. The best is yet to come. Out of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything started to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You believe it, David? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. Wait till our lips have met. Wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine. I'm gonna teach you to fly. We've only tasted the wine. We're gonna drain the cup dry. Wait till your charms are ripe for these arms to surround. You think you've flown, but honey, you ain't even left the ground. And wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait till you see that sunshine place. Ain't nothing like it here. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine, and you're gonna be mine. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Mr. Dean Lyons a hand, please. Yes, sir.
I may not remember all the words.
If you could just look at me, I'll chime in.
Oh, that shark, babe, has such teeth, dear, and it shows them pearly white, like that jackknife has old MacHeath, babe, and it keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with his teeth, babe, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, though, wears old MacHeath, babe, so there's never a trace of red. And that tugboat down by the river, don't you know, with cement bags just drooping on down. That cement is just, it's there for the weight, dear. 5 will get you 10, old Maggie's back in town. Oh, to get tawdry, look out and Liz Lollamelia. Whoa, look down to down, and old Lucy Brown, 'cause that line forms on the right, babe. Now that Maggie's back in town, look out to this Lollamelia.
Another hand for Mr. Dean Lyons. Wow, man, that was awesome. Dean, Mr. Dean Lyons, would you like to team up and maybe we could start a new Rat Pack? We'll get David to join us. Oh, that was fantastic. I think between the 4 of us and Scott, I think we can make history. Another hand for Dean Lyons, please. Wow, fantastic. Oh, that was awesome. And is Lisa still here? Lisa and Trisha? There's a special song I like to do and dedicate it to Lisa. Also, Rosemary Vanderbrock is here too. Ni wen wa ai ni yo do shen wa ai ni yo zhi bian xie xie wo de qing ge zhen wo de ai ye zhen ye lei dai biao wo de xin ni wen wa ai ni yo do shen wa ai ni yo zhi bian wo de qing bu yi wo de ai bu bian ye lei dai biao wo de xin轻轻的一个吻已经打动我的心，深深的一段情 叫我思念到如今。Can you sing with me? 你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几遍。Beautiful. 你去想一想，你去看一看，眼泪代表我的心。你去想一想，你去想一想，你去看一看，眼泪代表我的心。你去想一想，你去看一看，眼泪代。表我的心。
Hi, Howard. A table sponsor would make a comment to you.
Actually, to Dean.
I was just going to say about Dean Lyons. He was nice enough to come over and say hello to our table, and we were having a bit of a conversation about his first principle of confidence without attitude. And I think my elitist friend from an old Etonian from London remarked that your singing showed that you had confidence, but your dancing certainly showed that you had attitude.
And that was Scott Matlock, ladies and gentlemen, one of our table sponsors.
Here's Terrence, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. All the leaves on the trees, they have fallen to the sounds of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to heed to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. All the noise magic seem to whisper and hush. All the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love?
Well, I want to make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning has come. And I know that the timing is just right, and straight into my arms you will run. And when you come, my heart will be waiting, and will make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true, dear. There and then I will make you my own. Every time I touch you, you just tremble inside. And how much you want me that you can hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love?
Give Terrence a hand, ladies and gentlemen. He's amazing.
I wanna make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning has come. And I know that the timing is just right. And straight into my arms you will run. And when you come, my heart will be waiting. And make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true, dear. There and then I will make you my own. Every time I touch you, you just tremble inside. I know how much you want me that you can hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Come on. Mr. Howard McCurry, ladies and gentlemen.
Terrence, oh, thank you so much, thank you. Terrence, you know, one of your greatest gifts is knowing how to work the room.
Well, I think you would probably have a better gift than I do. How about I take your lead? How about you take the lead and show me how it's done?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, then, if you take this side of the room, and I'll do my best to manage this side of the room, we will have a Berkeley sing-off.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of competition.
But you remember Dean Lyons, he said it's friendly competition, right?
Of course it's friendly. It's always friendly.
Yes. Which always works. We work together.
Yes.
So, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
So, this comes way back from the old country. It's called call and response.
Call and response.
Ready? Okay, ready everybody up here? Okay.
Are you guys ready on this side of the room?
Day-o.
Hey-yo.
Day-o.
Day-o. You.
What I need.
What I need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Tweedledee.
Doodly-doo.
Day-o.
Hey.
I like for this side to give this side a big hand. They did good, didn't they? Moon dance. Under October sky.
Up to the sky.
October skies.
October sky.
Can I just have one more moon dance with you,
my love?
Yeah. Can I just have one more moon dance with you,
my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Can I just have one more romance with you? Hey, no baby,
yeah, Patrick.
Down, down, day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Baba Reba.
And Mr. Howard McCurry.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
I would like to invite Ms. Clara Sigrid Lowe, this year's Ball Publicity Director and Club Vice President, on stage to share with us some interesting club news and also help identify what new paths are there to take for Club Berkeley of Hong Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Clara Lowe.
Thank you. Hi, I would just like to take this opportunity to give you an update on some of the exciting club events that we have in the planning for the month of November and December. We'll be having the big game will be held at Stanford this year, but no worries. We'll be having the big game viewing party on the 27th of November at Dublin Jack. And if you would like to join us, please watch out for the email invitation or talk to Travis Darrow, who will be organizing the event. For the month of December, we'll be having a hiking trip with details to follow shortly. And we'll also be having a cooking class. The maximum number of participants will be only 30, so you might want to sign up soon. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Clara. This certainly has been an evening for all of us to remember, and one which will live beyond tonight. To make a difference in a young person's life. Who knows, maybe that person will go on to win a Nobel Prize, or find a cure for cancer, or move us all to greater heights through artistic expression. One thing is certain, that the lucky and blessed individual will long remember your generosity and commitment to excellence and achievement, and will be forever grateful for making a difference in their lives. This event would not have been possible without the support and kindness and generosity of the following sponsors, who I think President Dave mentioned, but would definitely be needed to mention today. Mr. Poon Bun Chak, Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey Chan, Mr. and Mrs. Kwok Phai, Mr. and Mrs. Scott Maylock, Mr. and Mrs. Poon K. Chak, Mr. and Mr. David Wong, who also sponsored the VIP cocktail for tonight, Mr. and Mrs. William Choi, Mr. and Mrs. George Ho, Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Ho, Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence Lee, Mr. and Mrs. Harton Ma, Miss Sally Wong, Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Liu, and Mr. Reynaldo Espinelli. So for that, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and give them a warm round of applause. Without them, this evening would not have happened, and thank you for your presence and kindness and your support. And I think children will be our future. And let's help make this world a better place for them. And thank you, Berkeley, for continuing this great education, this great heritage, and for giving us hope for the future. Thank you, Kinson. Thank you. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to continue dancing, I think the band will honor us with some rounds of music. So please kick your heels and rev off the energy. Come on the dance floor and shake it all. Thank you and good night.